Hey YouTubers, what's up? It's me again. Okay, so today I got a message on my YouTube page on my PVE build, and so everyone's asking for it because I guess they've been seeing my videos. Now I already have my PvP build for my Nightblade out, so everyone's asking for the PVE build. So I'm gonna go ahead and show you the build and the skills. It's pretty much the same as the PvP, just gonna change out a few skills, and then I'll show you the gear. So I'll go with the skills. Okay, let's see, skills. Let's see what we're gonna start with. Okay, so we'll start with, I'm wearing 7 medium armor. You need it because the more you have, the more bonuses you get. So increase stamina recovery by 4% per piece. So that's times 7 is 28%. Also reduce the cost of stamina abilities 3% per item is 21. And you can just see why I wear all 7. Sneak doesn't really matter too much, but it is 50% if you ever want to be a sneaky stamina vampire Nightblade, this will work great. Also helps reduce the size of the detection, which is probably going to be pretty good for you, along with the disguise. That'll work great for 1.7. So and then yeah, this one increases your weapon damage for 5 or more. So the more you have, the more it is. And then, you know, dodge roll 30% on top of champion points, which, you know, it just stacks up. And plus it increases your movement, which is great. But this is only 1 or more, so it's cool. So that's why we're 7, and then I'll go ahead and show you the gear. Now this gear it's really it's not too expensive, but to get it to where it is, it's really expensive. It's gonna be, I mean, just to turn it into legendary, it was like about $1 million. And then on top of creating it and then making it green, blue, purple. So I mean, it was a lot of work that went into it. But I am confident with the build. I love it, and I can use it for both PvP and PvE. It's great. This is my build. I created it. I made it up. They don't have this build on, you know, on the websites. Delta Gaming doesn't have this build. Cypher doesn't have this build. Nobody has this build. This is my build. It's unique. It's what works for me. It's what I like. So if you feel like you want to change some things up, you can go ahead. No problem. This is me, and this works. And if you can see in the video, it's OP. It's amazing. So it's up to you. All right, we'll go to the weapons. So the reason I wear this, and part of the whole build is based off of the Master Sword, because it's the only sword and only thing that increases your cleave ability. Now, if I were to get this in 14 and made this legendary, the cleave ability would be about 950. So it's almost 1,000 more damage onto what it is already. And then it also gives you increased weapon damage, which is great. It's just like, it's like free. I mean, usually you have to wear a 2-piece set or something just to have this, and this just gives it to you for having 1 sword. It's great. And then it takes forever for you to have to recharge it, so it just lasts forever. It's great. The bow, I don't use a bow only for PvP. Well, I kind of use it actually sometimes if I were to go. There's a couple of parts where you know, it's just one boss and I can move around, run away from him, and just get him from a distance. This really works. But I don't have it as a set. I don't know. I just haven't even looked for another bow yet. So yeah, this is the one I'm using. Okay, so for the head, I'm using, of course, Helmet of the Air. So it gives me a lot of stam. I don't really like the reinforced, but it's the only one I could make. And I really like the enchantment, man. That's 637 on the gold, man. That's a lot, man. That's a lot. And it also increases my stamina recovery by 24. It's like the max you can get. It's great. And then 60%, you know, extra armor. That's a plus. Even though I'm not taking hits, if my shield were to go down and I were to take hits, it's gonna help out. So it's good. Jack of the Night Silence. I love making the sets because I really think the Mundus Stone effect really makes a difference, especially when you have sets where it adds stam and recovery. It gives it that 8-7%. I mean, it doesn't sound like a much, but it stacks, man. When you start putting them on every single piece of gear, stacks. Shoulders, same thing. Mundus Stone. It's a 3-piece set to give me the 124. The waist, another Night Silence to give me another 3-piece set. I really want to put a Mundus Stone on here. It would increase my max magicka or max stam right now until we can get the steed. Once the steed changes into stamina recovery, then it won't be 26 anymore. It'll be like probably like 150. Okay, so the hands, same thing. This is the 3rd piece to finish this 3rd set, the 3 set. And then we go over to the air to finish this 3-piece set as well. Gives you 664, and that's a lot, man. That's a lot of stam. The infused, I don't know what that's probably the only thing I could do or I researched. Then I go to a 4-piece set, which this is really rare. It's hard to get because the only way you can get the Walker sets is by spending a bunch of AP points and getting lucky, and hopefully you open a container that has one of these sets. From all the money that I spent and AP points I spent, so for every 300,000 AP points, you're gonna get a rare item. It won't be gold, it'll be like blue, but that's what I calculated. There's gonna be so for every 300 AP, you'll get one of the you'll get a ring, or you'll get some other ring, but it'll be one of the expensive ones where they sell for a lot. And then every now and then, maybe like a 10% chance that every 100,000 you spend, you might get lucky. But for the most part, it's 300k AP points, and then you'll get, you know, a set. You'll get one of these, a ring or something, one of these. So, anyways, so this is my 4-piece set. It's gonna give me a little bit extra weapon damage, which is, I don't really like weapon damage, but you know, but I'm only doing it because it has a stam recovery. And it also has a max stamina, so that's the only reason I'm getting it for. Same thing with the ring. The pendant, more health, gives me more stam. Same thing with the rings, more stam. I don't really like the health, but I did have the health, but I ended up selling them so I could make money. So if I get lucky, I can get the ones. I'll get 2 more instead of having the increased health. I'll have the increased stamina, but I didn't want to. I needed money, so I went ahead and sold those. See, here's one. I know I got one, so it gives me the 790, which is a lot. It's almost 1,000. It's a lot, man. So basically, the way you calculate stamina is for every 100 stam, it's 10 weapon damage. So I mean, you can just tell that's you know, almost 100. So it's great. So that's my armor, and then that was my weapon. Buffs or food that I have right now, I'm using just the regular food because I was doing AA. But usually the best ones that I use are from the Crown Store. I mean, I like them a lot. I'll show you which one it is. Oh shit, I think I'm out. Yeah, fuck. I guess I'm out. Well, if I do AA, I don't really need sustain as much because I'm not soloing, so I'll do the health and the stam. And then when I'm solo, I'll go ahead and use one of these if I'm broke, or I'll buy the one in the Crown Store, which I'll show you. let's see. There we go. It's gonna be on this one right here on the left. The endurance one, 406 for 2 hours. Now it's not just 406 because this stacks with your champion points, so it goes into a percentage. So basically, it's more than, it's like a, you add what? I'm at 20. You add 20% onto the 406. Okay, so let's go to the skills. Same thing. I'm using double take. If I'm fighting, I like to move around fast. I like to have the dodge chance. 26 seconds. It's great. I like it. Some people are like, why do you have it on your bar? I like it. I love it. If I'm finding a solo boss, he can't hit me because I'm rolling, or I'm just moving so fast the motherfucker can't catch me. So that's why I have that on there. Shadow, I don't use Shadow for PvE. I don't use that one either. So mostly, the bread and butter is going to be Brawler. So it's weapon damage or physical damage, so you want to put all your points in the mighty. That increases this. Having a lot of stam increases the damage on there more than weapon damage. Don't know why. That's why I don't like weapon damage. I don't care. So I try to max out as much stam as I can and increase this. The reason I use this, and I also combine this with Executioner, is because while slotted, increases two-handed abilities by 20% to low health. So this is doing what, 35, and low health, which is under 50, it's gonna do 20% more, and that's great. Another thing about cleave, everyone knows if there's a morph and it gives you, absorbs up to 2,000 damage plus 100%. So you do 2,000 times 100%, and then you times that for each enemy that is around you. From the testing I've done on PC, it doesn't hit more than 6 guys or 6 enemies or 6 monsters, whatever you want to call them. But the shield is at 20k when I was doing this, so it might be a little bit more, but I hit 20k. So for every 5 enemies or 6 enemies that I hit, it's a 20k shield. And this doesn't cost that much. It's only 1840. My stam recovery is almost at 4k. So I could do 2 of these and not even and have it recover within 2 seconds. So that's why this is just so spammable, and I love it. And that's I leave Executioner only also because it helps me finish a boss, and also increases the cleave damage when they're under 50% by 20 or 18%. A rally is my only heal until I get vigor, but I'm almost there. So I don't know. Once I grind it out, I'll switch it. It heals for 650 for 33 seconds every 2 seconds, so you're getting about 325. And then additional 1,000 after 33 seconds. But the thing is, on the final heal, it increases on the proportion of the length of the time that rally has been active. So what it means is, the more it ticks, and if you let it tick without casting it, the final tick is gonna crit for a huge amount. And it could be, I got crit for like 10k one time. It just depends how you do your champion points and whatnot. Another thing about two-handed abilities is because the heavy damage it does. I mean, people have done builds where they put all their champion points into how much to increase the damage of their staff or their one-handed sword or two-handed ability, and they hit, and I've seen people hit for like 20k. I mean, this guy coming to me in PvP hit me with a heavy attack for 20k. So there's builds where people, they don't even have to use their spells or skills, they just use heavy attack and just one shot the shit out of you. So this is becoming really crazy. Plus this also gives you a bonus. I like the bonus. Axes gives you bleed, maces ignores the target's armor, and swords just increase damage by 5%. Also, you know, if you get the balanced blade, increases the stamina abilities or the two-handed abilities. Stack this with champion points. It's great.